tryna get it right, but life's shaky though. We just tryna make Christ look attainable. When I do it on my own, that's not sustainable. So I just pray and give it all to God, he makes the faithful grow. Everybody feels condemned, that's not the case. I got the recipe cause I've been seasoned with grace.
Thank you for tuning in to Nehemiah Abilene. If you have been blessed by this, if this has helped grow you or connect you with the body of believers, and you would like to give, the whole purpose of these podcasts and clips and social media is to try to generate more support for our ministry, which is Nehemiah Abilene. And you can find us at nehemiahabilene.org. We house about 90 men full-time, raising them up as disciples and leaders for the kingdom, to be the revival that we believe is coming. And we believe what that looks like is men back in position as leaders at their home and family. You can cash app us at #NehemiahABI, and by all means, be a member of a local church. But if in addition to that, you would like to give, there are many ways to do so. Thank you very much.
Okay. Is my hat straight?
It's crooked. Okay. No, it's straight.
I don't know
what's crooked to you. It's your own personal thing. You should get your phone and put it in front of you and determine. Because clearly me and Grayson don't know.
Look at your shot.
It's kind of far, though.
No.
Oh, there we go. We good.
It feels good in here.
Oh, right now it does. It's going to get hot.
It's never... When we was in here last time, all y'all was flustered and hot, I felt great.
Okay, well...
I'm dying.
Maybe it's having hot flashes.
Yeah.
Anyways, we start when I'm ready.
When you're ready. High energy.
Okay.
Woo.
Whoa!
Whoa! What's so loud in my ear?
Oh shoot, my bad. I forgot. You ready?
You ready?
Are you ready?
No, I'm not. But let's do it.
All right, here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to another season. Oh. No. Another episode.
Another season with Gray.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Season with Grace. Antwoine Hill. I have a special guest here today. Somebody I never anticipated ever getting on camera because she won't even take photos, let alone get on camera and talk. This is definitely a new season of Season with Grace that Miss Portia Hill, my wife, would be on the podcast with us. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Where are you from?
I am from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I was just joking. I mean,
you petty.
But it's good though. No, so we wanted to just kind of get on here and just talk. And she came with some questions. We got some questions lined up, and we just want to kind of talk about some of the things in marriage. Like we've been married for how long? We've been married?
16 years.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, 16.
Well, 15, ready to be 16.
Right, that's why I was saying. Okay, yeah,
it'll be 16.
16 in
August 13th.
August 13th. So in about a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time this airs, it would be like a day or two before our anniversary. And truth is about our anniversary is we have had anniversaries that we have completely missed it.
100%.
Literally, like I know the guy always gets the most flack for like missing it, but literally it was like a day or two after when we was like we
were in two separate places.
Yeah, I was out of town.
You were at a studio and I was out to eat with our friends.
That's right. She was out to eat. I was at a studio and she like, you know what we missed the other day? It was our anniversary. And I was like, oh shoot. But I didn't feel super bad because I was like, well, she missed it too, so it wasn't just on me.
And we almost missed it this year.
We almost missed it this year. I was already planning. We were already thinking about, listen, and then the truth is these months get busy for us. My birthday is in July. Her birthday is this month. And our daughter's birthday is next month.
And our son's birthday is in July as well.
Oh, our son's birthday is in the same, 2 days after mine. And so we just get caught up with the whole birthday thing. And we just sometimes, it just flies by. But anyway, we wanted to just get on here and we wanted to talk about marriage, man. We've been married for a long time. And we've had some magnificent times. We've had some really hard times. We've had some good days, some bad days, some days when we didn't know what was next, and we've been together for a long time, man. We met pretty young. We was 18 years old, 17 years old.
Yeah, we've been together for 18 years.
We've been together for 18 years. So then that brings me to my first question. Then, how did we first meet? And make sure.
No, you tell it first. Go.
Because you're gonna put sauce on it, bro.
What's this
You're gonna make it
about?
seem like something it ain't.
I'm not.
All right. So there's conflicting stories
I don't know how it's conflicting.
because I feel like the first time I met you was out of town.
Which is not true.
Anyway, I feel like I met her for the first time. We were in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
We're from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I met her in Indianapolis, Indiana, is what I thought. I'm pretty sure. And we were at a thing they used to do every year called Black Expo, right? Or was it Circle City Classic?
It was one or the other.
Anyway, they do these two things called Circle City Classic, Black Expo. I don't know if they still do it or not, but it was a big thing that we would go to. Everybody, all the young people go over there. We go party, and I saw her down there. I knew her friend, and I got her number. Did that not happen?
That happened, but that's not how I met you.
Okay, well, I feel like that was when I met her.
Because
I got
what was
her.
I-
Hold
what
on.
was- okay, go.
I got her number, and then, I gave her mine. She called me later, or I called her later. One of the two, and
the
she wanted to hang out.
And you did not.
Well, I wanted to hang out for something different than you wanted to hang out with, and you was like, I ain't. And I was like, all right, I'll call you back. And then I was like, went on about my business. That was really what happened.
And so what did you see me in when we were down there? You
I don't
saw me in my
remember.
jacket, right?
Yep. You had
Okay.
your jacket
And so
on.
this is how I know us meeting that wasn't the time because my mom bought me that jacket for school. And when she buys me things for school, you can't wear it till school.
So you're telling me that after I met you, then me and you we didn't have any kind of conversation at all after that.
So this is what happened.
Okay.
I never had a conversation with you.
Okay, just tell them how we met
Until
and all of that. Then.
How we met is we were in study hall, and we had been in the same study hall all year together.
I remember study hall. No, you don't even be in study hall for a whole
Whatever.
year.
Well, I was because I came in from a different school
All right,
and
go
I had
ahead.
extra class. And so my mom and my dad did not let me dress crazy. And they bought me some dress, and I was finally able to wear it because I was going into my senior year. Mm-hmm. And it was a tight dress. It was fitting. And I guess he never saw my body. And as soon as I walked in, his head turned. He was the first person I saw. He turned his head so hard.
So hard, it's crazy. I told you he was gonna put sauce on it. I knew you was gonna. I told you he was
It's
gonna
the
put
truth.
sauce. I knew it.
And you approached me. You never talked to me, and you approached me. And I didn't even know who you were.
I did not approach you. I just
You came and sat right next
sat
to
by
me and
who
said,
you and your friend group that you were talking to.
and you asked me what's
and
my
I knew
name.
your friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I said what?
I was like, I was interested because you was down there the whole time over a girl.
Don't
that I
say the
was
girl's
like,
name. On
I'm
here.
not. You was all over this girl, and I was like, what? And my friend was like, girl, you don't want to talk to him. And I was like, I probably don't.
Oh, so did I get your number today?
No, you did not get my number that
All right,
day.
so what happened after that? That's how we first met.
I was uninterested, and then I ended up finding out that you were friends with my brother.
This sounds crazy.
I found out you were George's friend.
I do know that.
And then when y'all were down there, George was with y'all. I saw him first. He was with y'all in the truck, and y'all stopped.
Oh, when we was out of town.
Mm-hmm. And that's how we got each other's number. Because I saw my brother. You saw me, of course, because you saw my body again, and you said something.
I just saw you. I knew your friends.
I was walking down the street.
But I knew your
and
friends.
You saw me in my pink jacket.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you was dressed nice, smell good.
And we exchanged numbers.
So I was on to ask for your number.
Yeah.
And you gave it to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I guess whatever.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to hang out with him. He's with my brother.
Oh, okay. So that made you more comfortable with your brother.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. It was me, your brother, and two of my other best friends. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, yeah, all right, I guess. All right, either way, it was like at least we both remember both of those occasions.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember the order that they was in.
Yeah, I would have never just gave you my number when you ran up on me like that because I am standoffish.
Wait.
You know I'm a standoffish person.
So when I met you, I know they're like they don't even know how they met. I just got. Let me be very, very honest. I did a lot of drugs back then, and so like some stuff is just like I can't remember. So I got to give people the benefit of that when they remember stuff better than me. So Relax. So what happened? So you're saying after the day that I talked to you in study hall, me and you didn't have any conversations after that?
No, because I was uninterested because I can't say a name. My friend was like, girl, he a hoe.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
Shout out to your friend.
I was like, I'm not interested because I don't
Let's
have time for
move
that.
on from there. Okay, all right. That was okay. So our questions was how did we first meet, and then it was who made the first move.
You asked for my number, so
What does the
clearly
first
you
move mean? Oh, to get their number?
I think so. Or
Because
that, but first move could be kiss.
who made the first move to kiss?
I don't remember. Probably
I
you.
do. You did.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like we're like multiple kids in now. It doesn't matter. We're 1 gazillion kisses past that. So anyway, all right. So we'll move in. So move on. So we got some questions. So that we have on here. That was how we first met. It was in high school. And truth is, like meeting early on, man, like was like it was just a whole bunch, man. We were young.
Yes.
It was chaotic. It was, toxic.
It was very toxic.
Very toxic. Very like, I don't know how we even like made it past that. You know, the truth was like I was just young and like just out of my mind, and like she was a sweet person, to be honest. I was just crazy, out of pocket, just doing whatever, and was just wilding, if I'm honest. And but I mean, we started dating, and it was intense. It was crazy. I don't know if we were good for each other at that point in time. Maybe I probably wasn't good for her, if I'm being honest. But yeah, man, it was but that came with a lot. We moved in with each other's few years after that.
After
maybe.
we graduated.
We graduated high school, moved in a couple years after that, and it was just a lot. But yeah. So this is kind of like jumping past some stuff, and we can go back if we want to. But like, our personalities are different.
Yes, very much so.
Very much different. She's like super introverted. Will like disappear into a corner if she can and not be present. I started off by saying like she doesn't like take a lot of pictures, videos and stuff. She don't like being on the spotlight. That's why today was really surprising that she was okay with being on camera and even having conversation, which is really cool. Like to know, like it's pretty dope. Like a lot of the years when I was doing ministry, I really was hoping that she would get involved with me, and she never did. I'm not upset.
I feel like I got involved
In a different way, though.
Well, yeah, in a different way. Just because I'm not more of a spotlight type person. I'm more of a to myself. I don't mind having a conversation with a person here and there at the merch table, or help with the kids. That's my type of stuff.
No, I get it.
I'm not big on dealing with interactions. I get overstimulated with too much person interaction.
That's how you know we in 2026 when millennials are saying, I get overstimulated. Anyway, I get it. But, it was just, there's a part of there's a testimony that you have that only a few people know.
Yeah.
And I felt like it would have been very beneficial for people to hear your testimony. And I was hoping to share that with you. And but there's a part of it, like, it's not my testimony to tell, it's yours. But I think that a lot of people would have been set free and healed from it. And I think that it would explain a lot about who you are, where you are, and everything like that. At some point, if you ever want to give it, I would love for you to share. I think it would be cool. But, there's parts of our testimony that, like, we don't necessarily want our children to know, or necessarily like, but the reality is a lot of stuff that we went through, God brought us out of a lot, and I thought he brought you out of a lot too. And so a lot of that I wanted to share with you. But in that, I'm still grateful because we are where we are right now. You're an introvert. I'm extrovert, kind of.
You are.
No, because I'm not like always like.
Antwoine, we will go in places and you have conversations with people all the time, just randomly. And me and the kids are looking like, why is he talking to that person?
Well, but
Like, what
they're
the heck?
people. What do you mean?
Yeah. And me and Jada's like running to the corner to get away from people.
Her and my daughter are very similar. My son is a mixture of me and her, probably more than any of our kids. My oldest daughter is she's a little bit of both. She's probably a mixture too of introvert, extrovert. What are they called? There's the other. Is there another word? Omnivert or something? Ambi.
That's her and Peanut.
Yeah, I think they're that. Peanut is real like standoffish and cool, but he can make friends in any ambivert. Okay, but my son is more. He can make friends anywhere that he goes. Like he's cool with that, but then he's also like 100% fine being by himself and alone and not talking. So he's good with either one. He'll adjust to whatever environment he's in, and then I'm just like, yo, like we're people. Let's talk, like whatever. So in that it says, how has being an introvert and an extrovert affected our marriage? What do you think? Or has it?
I feel like it has, just because it's a lot of things that you want me to go and be a part of, and I just don't feel comfortable. I get anxiety sometimes walking into a room full of people because I have to have a conversation, and I'm not good with conversations. A lot of times, especially being in ministry, people think that I'm mean or I'm rude or everything, but that's not the case. It's just the fact that I get nervous having conversations with people.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's true. And go ahead.
And I feel like it's things that you did that you wanted me by your side, and I just could not get out of it. I could not get out of my head or anything, and it sucks. It sucks not being with you, but.
And I'll be real. I guess like some of that, like it said, how did it affect our marriage? I guess to a certain degree, a lot of that made me feel lonely a little bit, because I felt like other couples' wives would be involved in stuff, and I would want my wife with me, and I feel like a lot of times I felt like I was by myself.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the wrong way of thinking about it. I'm just saying what it made me feel like in the moment. And that's why I would be like, well, hey, come with me or this and that. And so a lot of times I felt like I was by myself in stuff. And that was probably what it made me feel like. It made me feel alone in those moments. And I guess that probably did play a little bit into some of the stuff in our marriage, like as far as like our just little differences that we've had in our marriage. Not like, upset with you about it, but it did. It used to feel lonely a lot of times, if I'm honest. So, I guess that's how that kind of maybe affected our marriage. Here's another question. How has God used our differences instead of our similarities? You don't know?
No.
I do.
Go ahead.
Because she's introverted, she has had wisdom on a lot of relationships that we've had with people over the years, where she was like, I wouldn't be so friendly there. I think that they don't mean you guys good. And boy, more times than not, she was absolutely correct about that. And in that, it was, if I'd have just taken heed and been a little bit more introverted and not so quick to, it might have helped in some tough situations in our ministry where we, business and oh man, just like all kinds of stuff. So, I think that's how God might have used our differences. Here's a good one. This might be for me more than you, but I'm curious if maybe you have a perspective on this. It says, at one point, did you know I want to marry that person?
Seeing you with your daughter, because I don't know if people know Anaya's not mine.
Yeah,
but she is mine.
So we got three kids. Mm-hmm. One of them, we got 21-year-old, 17-year-old, 14-year-old. Our 17-year-old about to be 18.
Yes.
My oldest daughter is from when I was 18. I had a daughter my senior year of high school. I met her around that time.
Yeah, she was pregnant with her.
Yeah, the woman was pregnant with my daughter when I met Portia. So we have my oldest daughter that's not ours together. But Still ours though, but go ahead.
But seeing the way you were with her, how you loved her, how you took care of her, that made me fall in love with you because my biggest thing was my dad and how he loved us. And so I'm like, I want that in a husband and a father for my kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing either. I was a kid. She was born when I was 18, man. I didn't know. I didn't have a lot to offer outside of just loving her. Like, I didn't have a lot financially. I really didn't have the emotional capacity outside of, like, this little girl came from me and I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure she's loved and to take care of her. That's really all I had to offer.
Yeah,
Like,
but you were there even if you didn't have it financially. When it was your time to get her, you got her.
Yeah.
So if we were hanging out together and it was your time to have Nye was hanging out with us.
That's true.
So
That's true.
and I love that.
Yeah. Mine was a little bit different. Mine was a little later. And here's the truth why. I never saw myself get married. Ever. My idea of relationships was you get in a relationship, you date that woman for a little while, and then you move on to the next woman. And that was my view on relationships. And I don't know, I didn't have a great example of relationships in my my family. My mom and dad was together, but my dad was, doing his thing, if I'm honest. And so my point of reference for relationships wasn't great. So I didn't think about marrying her until this happened, until we had been together for a while. We was living together. Mm-hmm. And like I said, especially our young years were bad. They were bad. They weren't great. And I don't even know how we made it through any of that stuff, to be honest. But one night we was getting into an argument. We was in an argument. This is when I realized I wanted to marry her. We was in an argument, and I cussed her out. I remember, because I just said all kind of crazy stuff. At that time, there was no words that were off limits for me, if I'm honest. So I called her everything that there was to call her. I was upset. At the time, I had a warrant for my arrest. And so I left. I left the house. And I went to my cousin's house, and I was like, man, I started getting high. And I was like, I ain't going back. I don't want to be there no more. And I'd rather just turn myself in and go to jail before I go back home. And so I told my cousin, I said, hey, go to my house, get me some drawers and some socks and stuff so I could take a shower before I go turn myself into jail. And so he went, he got it. When he came back, he had my drawers, my socks, everything that I needed to go turn myself in, and some food as well. And I was like, well, you wouldn't got me some food too? I'm like, yo, dope. And he was like, nah. He was like, Portia, put this food in there for you. And I was like, that was the moment where I was like, if somebody in a moment has every reason to not make me something to eat or to not care about me, this was a moment where she had every right to feel like that. And the fact that in the midst of us, being in a really bad argument and things not, for me, I thought was over. Oh, you need a tissue.
Shut up.
Oh, you said I was going to need a tissue. But that she would still make sure that I ate was like, I knew that day, I was like, I want to be with this woman for long term. Now, I still wouldn't turn myself into jail because my mind was already made up, and I was like, I got to take care of this warrant anyway. I was tired of having to do stuff to not go to jail. But so I went to jail, and I stayed there for 15 days. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm talking to her on the phone, she made sure we didn't have nothing.
But make sure you had money on your books.
She made sure I had money on my books, and we didn't have no money, bro. We was broke. And but she made sure I had money to eat while I was in there. She made sure I had money on my phone to call. and she just held it down for me while I was in there, and it wasn't a long time, but I mean, 15 days isn't a long time, but we had nothing. We had nothing at all, and she made sure I was good while I was in there for that little bit of time. Because here's the truth: I was in there for 15 days. We didn't know how long I was going to be in there.
Yeah.
We had no idea. The judge had told me nothing. They just had me sitting in jail, not knowing when I was going to get out. Thankfully, I got out in 15 days, but I didn't know how long I was going to be in there. So that was when I realized, like, yeah, I want to marry this woman. So anyway, looking back, were we actually ready for marriage?
We were not
100% not.
at all.
None. I was okay. All right, whatever. I wasn't ready for any relationship, let alone marriage. I didn't know. The stuff that I dealt with and the way that I was and everything was normal in my life of what I had seen all the time. When you grow up in turmoil and consistent abuse and infidelity and that, like, you watch them work it out and you think that this is just what life is. Yeah. I wasn't ready for marriage at all. I was still a boy. And she was much more mature than I was. She was probably way more ready for marriage than me, but it doesn't matter because I wasn't. And I just wasn't mature enough. I hadn't grew up, and I wasn't ready to be committed, although I thought I was. The thought of being with you forever, it was what I wanted, but the thought of being without you was something that I didn't want. But but it was more to marriage than just saying I do and having a wedding. And found that out the hard way. We weren't ready. We got married at 22 years old, and yeah, I definitely wasn't ready for marriage. You got any perspective on that or no?
I feel like we should. I'm happy that we are where we are now. If we didn't get married in that moment, we wouldn't be where we are now.
If we didn't get married in that moment, we probably would have never got married.
Yeah, but I feel like we both had some growing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just tough. It was really tough. Like, we needed to grow on our own more before we came together.
100%.
But we thought we were ready. And we had kids. But in the process, it wasn't good for them either.
No.
Because they had to see us argue and fight and everything through that. But I'm grateful for that process because it brought us to where we are now.
Oh, boy, that time was so hard.
Yeah.
Man, that was such a tough time.
Can you talk about that at all? Because I'm sure. I know my wife and I can agree with that.
I was super sad, super depressed, super angry at the world, at everything. At that time, I had never processed things that had happened to me as a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to manage my emotions at all. I didn't know how to have a regular argument without screaming and being enraged. I didn't know how to. I didn't have. Emotionally, I was really, really bad in my mind. I didn't know how to tell her what was going on inside of my brain because I didn't know how to say what was going on inside of my brain. And probably more days than not, I felt like in my mind I was crazy and going insane all the time. And how can you enter into a relationship with all of that going on and it not happen and you're not getting taken out on the person that you spend every day with? Yeah. And in that, I was never considered her feelings because I was always thinking about mine and how I felt and what I was dealing with, and I just was not ready. I was not ready. I think I wish that young people knew. A lot more young people knew that at 22 years old, you're still a kid. I was saying out loud that I'm grown, but there was nothing grown about who I was. And I hadn't went through, I had numbed my life from the time I was 14, 15 years old, somewhere maybe 14. I had numbed my life with drugs for that so long so that I didn't feel what I would be thinking about in my mind.
Yeah.
And so I never dealt with emotions in the right way. And then I would just snap off and then apologize and snap and then apologize. And there would be a lot of days that I would look in the mirror. It'd be a lot of days that I look in the mirror and I would be like, I would look at myself in the mirror and just be like, everybody around you would probably be better off if you were dead. And I would just tell myself that all the time. Because I really felt like that. Because I didn't feel like I brought nothing good to anybody. And so it was just, when I looked in the mirror, I never felt good about myself. I would look in the mirror like, disgusted at who I saw, disappointed in who I saw, and I hated me. I really hated me all the way. And then I hate how I made people around me feel. And so that's not the right person to, I wasn't right mentally to even think about getting married. I just knew that you was the only thing in my life that made me feel happy a little bit. And my kids.
Yeah.
That was my only, like, real happiness. And that, I didn't want to lose the only happiness that I had. Even though my actions said otherwise, I think that was why I would hate myself more, because I would be like, man, you're going to lose the only stuff that makes you happy. And that would drive me even more insane. So, yeah. So that, from my perspective, is why I didn't think that I was ready for marriage.
Yeah. It's going through it was crazy. Because with initially me and you, the anger thing was not present, but it seemed like once we got deep into our relationship, it was a shock. It was a shock. But even like, I know you say like you get angry and then you apologize. And to me, like, even with dealing with that, I knew it was something, but you would never have the conversations with me at all. Like, I've heard little stories and this about your childhood from your siblings and stuff. So I knew it was something. That's why I was always understanding. And I still loved you through it. But all I could do is pray that you would be healed from the anger. Because that was, to me, in those moments, that was the only issue. But that wasn't enough for me to leave or not be there with you.
Yeah. Well, what's one thing about marriage nobody warned us about?
Everything.
About marriage?
Yeah, because
you
think when you go into marriage that you know everything about a person. But that's not the case. Once you get into marriage, you learn a whole lot more.
And you think that it's happily ever after because that's how the world paints it. That's how movies paint it. And it's like, I felt like we was going to get married. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We were going to get married and then, boom, everything was going to be just great and glowing and nice. And it was not. We had to adjust to each other.
Yeah.
And when we had kids, it was a whole nother level because we were both raised completely different.
Yeah, and you got to adjust through that. You have to find a happy medium with parenting.
Yeah, and it was two extremes. I had a little bit of a different life than my wife, and so there would be things in our marriage that trigger me with our children.
Yeah.
That in hindsight was good parenting from her, and maybe me feeling like a kid all over again by the way she would respond to the kids, and it wouldn't even be nothing crazy. It'd be right. But it would just be something that triggers something in me, and it would just start, boom, arguments, fights. It would just escalate every time.
Yeah.
What advice would you give 18-year-old you?
Shoot, that's a tough one. That you don't have to feel like you less than, that you won't be loved because of the things you went through in your life, because some parts of my testimony I feel like if they knew, then they would want to be with me, they would want to love me. It made me feel not beautiful, not good enough to be loved, and as I became older I learned that that's not the case.
And then, here's the truth. All I did was hurt you later. And that really made me feel like I was just nothing. And, we met at 18 years old with all these different things that had happened to us.
Yeah.
At 18. And basically 2 kids got together and tried to figure out how to be adults together. Man, I ain't talking about paying bills or working, but we both worked. We both knew how to take, I ain't know how to take care of bills. I just know if it costs $100, you give $100. She took care of the bill part, but I just helped with the money. Now I ain't talking about any of that. She knew how to cook. I didn't, but I knew how to eat good. So we knew how to survive that way. It was just that we had no idea that, my main thing was I bled on her way more than she bled on me. And because she was always loving, caring, beautiful person from the first day that I met her. That's probably the biggest regret that I have, is that how my actions changed who you were. Not like you did something wrong. It was just that I felt like I made you put up this defensive thing to be tough because of how I was. And that part of it sucked. And my anger was like, there's anger and then there's rage.
It was rage.
And I would go to a place of rage that would be uncontrollable to where when I finally was not upset anymore, most of the time didn't even remember like everything that happened. And, man, I remember one day the hardest thing that she ever said to me was, I asked you, did you love me? Dang it.
Cry.
I asked you, did you love me? And you said, yeah, but I'm scared of you. And that sucked so bad. Because I really hated the dude that I saw in the mirror. And that probably made me hate me more. And I didn't know how to control it. I had no idea how to control it at all. And the truth is, most days I prayed that you would just leave. And not because I didn't want to be with you, but because you deserved to be with somebody who deserved all the great parts of you, and I didn't deserve any of those. That's just the truth. And yeah, so that That was who we were.
Yeah.
If I had to give 18-year-old Antwoine advice, man, I would just tell him to get some help, bro. Get some help. Go talk to somebody about everything. Find somebody you can trust and talk to. Because it's a lot of things that you haven't shared with anybody that somebody needs to know about. But men don't share things.
Yeah.
Men don't cry. Men don't. They just man up, is what they say, I guess. And so all the things that I felt, and my mind always felt, made me weak. I remember one time. My mom and dad had gotten into a fight, and my dad like chased her out the house, and was like he had already hit her in the house, and then he like chased her out the house, and I ran out the house like before her because I just remember him being like you always running like a bee, and you gay, and you soft, and you this. But I was just a little kid. I was scared, bruh. That's the real truth. But I realized in that moment, you ain't allowed to be scared. Because you're a boy, you're a man, you're not supposed to be. But I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. My mom was scared. I saw it often. I thought, like, days like, I was just a kid. I thought that she was going to get killed. So I used to be scared. Man, I lived a long, scared life, if I'm honest. And it wasn't that it was just scary stuff happened around me. It was adults around me and scary stuff was happening all the time. And so, yeah, I was scared, bro. I didn't know how to, I was a little boy. And, I wasn't scared of anybody my age. I wasn't scared to fight. I wasn't scared of none of that, but it was just adult things happening around me that was scary a lot. A lot of my houses would get shot up, and there'd be shootings all around me, and people, my family would get shot, and different things like that be happening. Man, it was scary, bro. So maybe I was weak, I guess. I don't know, but I was just scared. But I remember him saying that, and me being like, I'm not allowed to be afraid. So all of these things, like you put all of these things in a young dude, and you send him out into the world, and all I know is I'm angry, bro. I'm angry because I've just seen so much stuff has happened, and I'm so upset, and I don't know how to cope with any of this stuff. I don't. There's nobody to talk to. There's nobody around to talk to about nothing. Who do I tell? Or who do I have conversation with? Nobody. And so you just deal with it.
Yeah.
And so you just get as high as you possibly can so you can just not think about it and just ignore it. And you don't talk to your friends about this stuff. You don't, you just deal with it. And it stayed inside of me forever, for a long time. And I think that's why I was so affectionate with my kids, because I was like, I wish somebody would have just hit the side button. It's okay. Where I just wish somebody would have protected. I just protect them the same way I wanted to be protected, and that's why like certain things trigger me.
Yeah.
I just wanted like that extra love. Jada came in the room last night and gave me a hug. I was asleep. And so, every day when she comes home from work, I'm like, you gotta give me a hug. And I was asleep, and I didn't realize she hugged me. I just kind of woke up. I felt somebody on me. I'm like, she's like, I was just coming here to give you a hug. And in a moment, like just seeing her face, I just got up. I gave her a kiss on the forehead. I was just and gave her another hug. I just wanted some of that. And I didn't have a whole bunch of that. And so, yeah, man, I don't know. So 18-year-old Antwoine, I would have just said, You're worth more than you know, and and it's okay that you're afraid of stuff. Like, that doesn't make you less of a man. And if you can, find somebody to talk to. I had my grandma there, but I guess I never felt comfortable sharing these things with anybody, and I wish I would have. It maybe would have helped me, because she was the sweetest person in my life, and it probably would have helped me some. So, all right. Anyway, are we gonna get to some stuff that we don't cry at, or we?
Okay, let's go with number 10. How has Jesus changed our marriage more than anything else?
A lot. I think once I gave my life to Christ, it changed my level of anger. I still definitely got angry. I definitely still got angry, but I feel like our fights were different. It changed me. Do you agree?
I feel like at times it was different,
Yeah.
but I feel like coming in on the other end, I feel like at times it was the same. I feel like in this last year, it has been way different. I feel like our marriage has changed completely.
You don't think year and a half?
Maybe a year and a half, man.
I feel like that. I feel like it's been the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds crazy because we're talking about how long we've been together. But it goes back to what we talked about as the stuff that I never talked about as kids. Like, it wasn't that I didn't talk about it then. I never talked about it.
Yeah.
Until this last year and a half, where I really worked through it. And you want to know the truth? The only reason I have the revelation of what I was dealing with then is because I talked about it the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that all of that stuff was still inside of me. And so when I took the time to talk about it, it was the first time in 40 years of life, 39 at the time, that I had actually worked through what I was dealing with on the inside, who I was, what I had been holding on to, some of my feelings, some of the things that happened. This was the first time I ever worked through any of it. And so I think that Jesus, I will say, when I first gave my life to Christ, I feel like it changed my anger progressively over time. And I think it kind of changed some of that stuff, but I still wasn't great. The church's response to me when I would try to bring up stuff was give it to God. And I didn't know how to give it to God. So I kind of lived with a lot of that stuff, and I think it played a part in. I don't think so. I know that it played a part in everything that happened in our marriage. I was still very insecure, still a lot of things, and I think Jesus really changed this last year and a half because my relationship deepened. Your relationship deepened.
Yeah.
Our relationship deepened. I navigated through the truths about everything that I was holding on to, who I was, who I had been. And I think that's what helped. So I don't know if you want to add to that.
I feel like Jesus has changed, well, a lot, like over the years, learning how to trust him with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even when things were hard, I learned how to lean on him. I learned how to forgive and move on, because it's been times, even when I was angry, I would still serve you. I would still take care of you, because I know when I was younger, I'd be like, skip him. He can starve. I'm not doing it. No, nothing. But I learned how to still love you and do everything. I learned how to forgive, because I held on to things and I didn't want to forgive. Now, I may not deal with people, but I learned how to forgive people. So, and yeah.
Amen. You got the questions?
All right. Has there been a season where one of us carried the other more spiritually? And I say yes, 100% you, because in the beginning, when we first started going to church, I was not ready. I was not ready to stop smoking weed. I was not ready to stop. Even though I wasn't a big drinker, I wasn't ready to stop doing those things. And in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to do this church thing just because he tell me to. Like, no, I don't want to do it. I want to keep living the way I lived. And so when you went to church, I would stay home and I would smoke my weed. And I didn't care that you was coming home from church or nothing, just because it was me being stubborn. And not thinking about, like, my kids and stuff. Because you was still taking them to church with you. And I was at home by myself.
Yeah.
And
I think that was what was hard too was that was for a while.
Yeah, it was.
It was for a long while, for some years. And that definitely made me feel very alone.
Yeah.
Very, very, very alone. I would make up reasons why you weren't at church with me because I felt stupid all the time. Why I couldn't even just get my wife to come to church with me. And it made me feel by myself a lot. A lot. I thank God for my baby girl.
Yeah.
Because she was like my church partner. She was. She wanted to go to church. She wanted to be at church. Daddy, we going to church. And she was like my prayer partner and but she still was a baby. She was little. But she was like the closest thing I had to somebody to go with me. Like, she was like my closest partner and like in my faith.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have it at home. And I think a lot of that really made me halfway in, halfway out. And listen, I thought that I was all in, and I did want Jesus, and I did. I just, man, I didn't know how to navigate through walking with the Lord. And I maybe, I felt like I had been going to church for a long time, but I felt like I hadn't been discipled in a way that of how to navigate through that stuff. And it was lonely, bruh. It was lonely. It was super lonely. I felt by myself. I did. I felt lonely.
Yeah.
And I loved you, but I was just like, I just it felt lonely.
I'm sorry.
It was a super lonely. You ain't gotta apologize.
I mean,
we talking about.
I know we talking about it, but I still feel like I should say I'm sorry, just because I could only imagine what it felt like for you to be alone in those moments, and me being stubborn and stuck in my ways and feeling like I don't care. I wasn't saying I didn't care how you feel, but at the moment I enjoyed what I was doing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my sin, and I was out there doing everything that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And
when did it change for you?
Seeing my sister-in-law, seeing the woman she was becoming, and I wanted it. I wanted to experience. I wanted to feel it for myself, and I didn't want my kids.
So you saying seeing Monica change?
Yeah, seeing her change and seeing her doing it, she was my push to become better, because even though I was seeing it in you, we were going through so many things at home that in those moments, I didn't want to follow you. I didn't, because I know you were trying, but I had to deal with those arguments and the infidelity and all those things. And so in my mind, when I was seeing, to me, it was like he's being a hypocrite, because he's doing this there, but he's doing this to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but seeing her, which we wasn't there. She was here in Texas, and we were there, but just when we would come around them, seeing her like actually trying this stuff, I'm like, you can do it. And I remember the last time I smoked my last cigarette and everything, I was in my car and I was crying, and I was like, God, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to church with my husband. I'm gonna stop smoking cigarettes, I'm gonna stop smoking weed, and I'm gonna really try. And I've had my times where I failed, but I've always pushed forward and tried my best.
Yeah. I think it was Man, I feel like a lot of the stuff that's happened in our marriage is that we were but never both on the same page.
Yeah.
If one of us was right, the other one was off. If one of us was, it was always that way. And it just caused stuff. And I think over time, that built up stuff on the inside of us.
Yeah.
That even led to my infidelity. And let me be very clear. Let me be very, 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 very clear. I'm not blaming you for that. That's still on me. But I'm just trying to paint a picture of where my mind was in the moment. Lonely, not on the same page, definitely didn't feel spiritually covered at home. But like, it played into everything. It played into everything in our marriage. It played into all of the, it was like we said, we was not ready to get married.
No.
And we took this 40-year journey to get to where we are. We were the Israelites. We took the really, really long way around to try to get to the place that we're at today. And it's been long and hard. In that, it led to a lot of stuff in our marriage that was that I'm not proud of at all. And it just felt like a really lonely season, a real hard season to get through. But in that, God at least brought us to a really good place right now.
Yeah.
It's probably right now, I don't think probably, right now the happiest I've ever been in my marriage.
I agree.
And the first time we've both been on the same page. And so we're getting to see it in our home with our kids. The atmosphere in our home feels different. Even when we're going through financial struggles and whatever's going on, I still have peace in where we are at home. And so, although all that stuff was hard, I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that God brought us out of where we are and to a place where we're healed and still growing. We still got stuff we got to work through, but it's we now are able to have conversations that I avoided, but now we're able to sit down and talk, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So yeah, man, just some of the just getting through some of the things that, is a part of marriage and that not a part of everybody's marriage, but this is our story. This is some of our story. And I'm super grateful for where we are today. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in and watching, and thank you. Appreciate you. So we're going to, we got so many more questions and so many more things to dig into. Everything's not sad or heavy. Some things are more lighthearted. So we're going to do a part 2, and we're going to come back together and do a part 2 where we kind of get into some more stuff. It might be a little bit more heavy stuff, but we'll get to some more lighthearted stuff too. And thank you guys for tuning in Season with Grace.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. If you like the episode, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share so that other people can see the episode if it blessed you as well. And I just wanted to say, if you wanted to know more about what we're doing here at Nehemiah Abilene, all you got to do is go to nehemiahabilene.org, and we'll have all kinds of information about the program, how long it is, the process, and everything. So if you know somebody, or if you yourself are dealing with any kind of addiction and want some recovery and some biblical things, and just do you want their life to change, go to nehemiahabilene.org and go check it out. I'm grateful for everybody. Appreciate y'all. God bless y'all in Jesus' name.